Hello, I'm Dr. Annadale, and our text for today is Plato's dialogue Euthyphro. Now, this is a short dialogue on the nature of piety. Piety is having a correct relationship with the gods, something akin to holiness or simply moral rightness, doing well morally. In this dialogue, we find Socrates, Plato's teacher, on his way into court to answer a charge of impiety. We'll see the result of this trial in the next dialogue, the Apology. On his way in, he meets a man named Euthyphro. Now, Euthyphro is a scholar of the law, and he is very pompous and puffed up, and boasts of his exact and perfect knowledge of all things related to religion, gods, and piety. So Socrates challenges Euthyphro to define piety, and we find in the course of the dialogue that Euthyphro is unable to do so. Each of his definitions meets up with some fatal objection from Socrates. Now, there are three themes I'd like you to think about in reading the dialogue. The first, the quest for philosophical definitions. Socrates is after something very specific when he asks Euthyphro about piety. He's not content simply to have a working knowledge of piety or a reputation for piety. What he wants is the essence of piety, the definition, the meaning of it, what it is in itself. And that's going to be important for our understanding of what this Socratic style of philosophizing is, what it means, and how Plato is going to continue it in his own work. So that's the first theme to look for. Socrates is after a particular kind of knowledge of piety, which is philosophical knowledge. The second point, the assumption shared by both Euthyphro and Socrates that the universe is a rational place. That is, that when we begin to inquire deeply into the nature of something like piety or God, that we will, under the best circumstances, find some kind of answer that is acceptable to us. We will find an answer that is rationally compelling. What this means is that the Greeks, by and large, assume that the universe is not a chaotic, random place. The universe is not governed by the will or the whim of some capricious God, but that there is some kind of order to the universe that can be penetrated by the human mind, that we can know and incorporate into our body of knowledge. That's the second thing I'd like you to look for. The third theme to keep in mind as you read is Socrates' use of irony. Now, Socrates is very ironic throughout the dialogue. We see this from the very beginning, where Socrates professes admiration for Euthyphro's knowledge and announces that he will become Euthyphro's student because he is so wise. We realize by the middle and the end of the dialogue that this admiration for Euthyphro is plainly ironic, that Socrates does not think as he initially says of Euthyphro and of Euthyphro's knowledge of piety. Now, we're most familiar in our culture with irony as a type of personal aggression, as a way of tearing people down or humiliating them. And I don't think that's what's going on here, or at least that's not all that's going on here with Socrates' use of irony. I want to suggest, and I'd like you to look for signs, that Socrates is using irony not as a type of cruelty, but as a teaching tool. He is trying to teach something to Euthyphro that can only be taught by this use of irony. And this is connected, I think, very closely with Euthyphro's absolute certainty that he already knows the answer about piety. So I invite you to reflect upon these three themes as you read Euthyphro. Bring your questions to class or to the comments section below. Thanks for watching today. Goodbye.